What are you doing?
Oh, planting.
Planting? It is planting time. Planting your tea garden and herbs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitchen garden.
Yeah, nice. Sage in first?
Yep. Right over here.
Yeah, on that side.
Okay, we have made some progress. We've still got stuff up here that we're going to plant, but I'm going to take you and show you what I planted. Okay, so we talked about the herbs. I've got sage, oregano, lavender, some Thai holy basil, thyme, rosemary, mountain mint, and then over there we've got chamomile and dill. So I decided to stagger all the herbs and kind of give them more of their space. Most of it I started from seed. The only thing I didn't start from seed was the lavender, rosemary, the oregano, and the sage. So everything else, the chamomile and the dill and the mint and the Thai holy basil, I started from seed. Ideally in this garden, the hope was that everything would have its own box so that it could get big and grow out and have plenty of room and not get choked out by anything else. But that's just not going to happen this year, and I'm okay with that because I want this to be a simple garden where I can just come out and get my kitchen stuff and not have to worry about all that. Next year we'll figure out the spacing a whole lot more, but I don't know, people always, they get on your case about herbs and this and that, and they tell you, you can't plant that there, you can't put mint here because it's going to choke everything out. And yes, it's possible, but you can also manage it and you can cut it back and you can make sure that that doesn't happen. Even if it does, who cares? It's not all about success in the garden, getting the most harvest or whatever. The success to me is about just spending time in the garden, being close with God and growing what you can and just finding the joy in it. So don't let people tell you that you can't do something. If you saw our last place, we put all of our herbs all together and we made it work because we just kept it manageable. We clipped everything and made sure that everything stayed in its place and it was all fine. So yeah, it may not look like everything has enough spacing, but it'll be perfectly fine. We also went ahead and got that cattle panel trellis up and that one, and I think we're gonna do two more, one on that side and one over here. Haven't totally decided yet, but that's gonna be so pretty. So I gotta show you what I put on this one. I started my loofah gourd from seed a few months ago and it didn't get as big as I hoped it would, but it needed to come out of the pot. So we put it in and it's gonna grow over this cattle panel and it's gonna be really, really pretty. We did it at our old place. We just had, I think, 4 loofahs and they took over and it was so gorgeous. And on this cattle panel, I put a birdhouse gourd that I started from seed. So he got really big in the pot. I'm not sure why the loofah didn't, but that's okay. He's gonna grow up there and we're gonna have birdhouse gourds, hopefully. Hopefully they'll come to that. If not, it'll just be really pretty greenery. And then with the birdhouse gourd in this bed, I planted some bush beans. I did 2 rows and I put them about 6 inches apart and that's gonna be really, really nice. Hopefully they come up and fill up that whole bed. Okay, so then I came over here and decided that I wanted to put our ground cherries in here. So we started 12 ground cherries from seed a while back and they've been getting bigger in the greenhouse and we decided that we're going to plant them all here. So it'll be 12 ground cherries, 2 rows, and we're going to put them about 2 foot apart. But as I was kind of not tilling up the dirt, but just kind of disturbing it and getting, you know, getting the good stuff to the top, we came across a small problem.
Ant attack. So we had a bunch of ants that ended up being in this bed. They had made it home, I guess, when we had the radishes in there.
Yeah.
So I first looked for some neem oil. We didn't have any neem oil on hand. But we did have some diatomaceous earth, or DE, food grade quality. And so that actually will help take it back to the queen. They'll get on their feet and that'll kill them down. But before we put the DE on, I actually got a big bunch of boiling water. And so I boiled the fire out of them. Then we put some DE on them just to try to kill them down. And I don't see them no more, so they're either gone to hiding, which is fine because they got that DE. But either way, that should, for the most part, solve our problem.
Yeah, and I think they were just like regular black ants, which I think the DE takes a little bit longer to kill them because they're hardier. Yeah. They weren't the red fire ants. They were just normal, like little annoying little ants. And it was just like a pile of them. So I don't know. Hopefully we got that taken care of, and the ground cherries should do really well here. I wanted to put them here so that we would be able to find them when they fall off and they're not out in the pasture or the field getting lost and eaten by animals. So hopefully this works a little bit better because we love our ground cherries. We've only grown them once, and we only had like 2, didn't we?
Yeah, and if you don't know what they are, they're little sweet candies.
They're candy.
They're about the size of like a berry.
Yeah.
So like maybe a blueberry. But they are have the sweetest punch ever. And we do the Aunt Molly's ground cherries, and they grow wide and long and kind of short and stocky. And they're ready when they fall.
Yep. So behind that, I've got all my calendula. That's also where the shallots were, but I took them out. They weren't quite done, but I was over it, quite honestly. I didn't want them to hurt my calendula because this is going to be a long-term bed. The calendula got bit a little bit by that freeze that we had, but it's okay. And we've actually, oh no, I got in the way. There's a little bloom coming up. It's gonna be so pretty. I can't wait for all my calendula to come up here and this just be a permanent home for it all. And probably more out in the field. So here's the view from this side of that trellis and that trellis. And then there's our house. I love it. I think it's gonna be so pretty and so nice to spend time out here.
Real sweaty and dirty. First off, I heard her talking to you all about the herbs over there, and she's being modest. She's the tea garden queen. So if you're getting flack from anyone else, she knows how to do it, and she's telling you can do it.
Yeah.
Grow all the...
Just don't let anybody tell you can't.
That's exactly right. Always. Jen also, in our 2 big pots that sit on our front porch, she planted nasturtiums that we also grew from seed. So as you can tell, they were starting to run out of room in there. However, these are really big pots. Going to be great to have them right here. They're going to look big and pretty and flow down, and they're awesome. They're so good to eat. If you haven't ate them, they're a little spicy kick to them, and it just adds to the kitchen garden. All right, and then over here, this is our nice little landscaping area. We finally got it planted. We planted some marigolds, some bachelor buttons. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Bachelor buttons. Dahlias, and then celosia. So that's going to look really pretty over here once it gets popping. All of that was also planted from seed from us in our greenhouse. So the kitchen garden, I would say, what is 99% planted?
I think so.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put some tomatoes and peppers in there too. Just our favorites, like normal peppers and normal tomatoes that we can just have there.
Yeah, and so the purpose of a kitchen garden is stuff that you use often in the kitchen. So all of our herbs, all of our beans, all of the different stuff that she has going on, it's stuff that we often eat on a normal basis. So we can easily come out of our front door right here and do the eating. So we've gotten most of that done. Yes, we are risking it just a tad for some of us here in 6B. But we looked at our 10-day forecast. We look fine. I think we're free from the freeze. And if we do get a light frost, we can cover this stuff up. Not that big of a deal.
No big deal.
Yeah. So, right. Because we had to up-pot tomatoes today. And even though we built a huge greenhouse, we were out of room. So it was time to start getting some stuff out of there. And it just felt so good to get our hands in the dirt and actually start planting the summer garden.
Yeah.
But y'all, that is it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. It is about to be bombarded with gardening stuff. We'll start teaching you even more tips and tricks like we kind of did with the DE and the ants. So make sure to subscribe down below. We'll be giving you plenty more information.
That's right. We love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.